This one is for the Italians around the world, wherever you are. My dad was born in a town called King Williamstown, which is to the northwest or north, I don't care, it's to the north of a town called East London in the Union of South Africa. Because of the Commonwealth, the Union of South Africa fought alongside the Allied forces in World War II. And my dad went and he fought the Battle of El Alamein. If you don't know where that is, it's the north coast of Egypt that stretches from Alexandria to Marsa Matruh and Libya. And Montgomery was the commanding officer, and Rommel was the other one, the German one. My dad was caught and he was shipped off. I don't know to exactly where, because old soldiers never spoke much about this, but he was shuffled off to, I think, Benghazi, either to Benghazi or Tobruk, put on a boat and shipped across to Italy. I do know that the boat landed in Bari, and from there they were taken and they were shoved into a prisoner of war camp. I also know the month was December. My dad and 3 of his friends, well, they were all boys, by the way. They were kids. They were 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They were kids fighting Second World War. Disgusting. They somehow, he never told me how, but somehow they managed to escape from this prisoner of war camp. I don't know how. They, through the dark of night, through the snow, they found their way to an Italian farmhouse. I wouldn't know where. This Italian family brought them in and said, you have to be really careful. The Gestapo are all around this area. So, we're putting you up in the barn under the hay that is there for the animals, for the animal feed. And then tomorrow, we will show you how to get from here safely to Rome. Because once you get to Rome, you're with the Allied forces and you're going to be okay. So the 4 boys got up the next morning. They had a farmhouse breakfast by these Italians. And then they called their little girl, their daughter, and they asked their daughter to give them her school book atlas. And they pulled out the pages of Italy. As you know, Italy is a long country with a boot at the bottom. And so you can't fit it on 1 page, it's on 2 pages. And they pulled these pages out and they laid them down on the kitchen table. And with pens and papers and no English and no Italian, they go here to here to here to here. Be careful here, there, over this mountain, blah, 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 till you get to Rome. They got to Rome on the 22nd of December. My father was put into hospital immediately. They had frostbite. Their legs were finished from traipsing through the snow. And I recall him saying he was lying in a bed and a doctor came by and said, those legs have to be amputated, get them off, put him in next. And right behind him, another doctor came and he grabbed my father's big toe and he squeezed it and he said, son, can you feel anything? And my dad said, yes, I can feel very little, but I can feel something. And that doctor said, where there's life, there's a way. These legs are not coming off today. His legs were never amputated. That same night, carolers came around and they were singing Christmas carols in the spirit of the season. One of the carols that were being sung was Silent Night. And for the rest of my life, when I knew him as my dad, and he would hear Silent Night played, he would cry. Because it must have been such a monumental day of his life. He passed away in 1994. And when I left the hospital, I took his belongings with, obviously. And I felt that his wallet was rather fat. So I opened it up to see what on earth there could possibly have been in there. And guess what I found? These two maps. Southern Italy and Northern Italy up to Rome. Naples and then further up to Rome. With the old sellotape marks and the little marks in pen and pencil starting here, where to go, how to go, a hole from folding, opening and folding, broken from opening and folding. And that's very special to me, to have kept those and framed them the way I have. What a story. So that Italian family, I would never know them. There would be never any way that I could locate them by name, by city, nothing. So, to Italians, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever your language, thank you for saving my dad. If you had not have, well, the rest is history. I hope you enjoyed that tale. Pop your comments. Let me hear what you have to say about that, because there are so many war stories that are untold. Soldiers go to war and they come back and they are so screwed up in the head. And even in that time, you couldn't talk about it. It was big taboo. If you were felt any emotion, you were an idiot. You weren't a big brave man. You were a kid, for God's sake. You were a kid. Veterans around the world, I salute you and that Italian family and your entire generation. Thank you.